Well, g'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. In this video, we're going to have a look at the ORTUR Master 3 laser engraver. It's a diode engraver that got sent, and let's see if we can do a few pictures of some tractors. Well, as that little prelude suggests, we've got a laser engraver to do a review on. Now, on my channel I don't normally do reviews really, it's just not what I'm about, but ORTUR, O-R-T-U-R, contacted me and asked me would I like to do a review on their new Master 3 laser engraver. Now, normally I wouldn't bother. I don't need to do that sort of stuff, and the reason I did was at the moment at work, have a look up here, we've got a little CO2 K40 laser, and that little laser was the first laser I'd ever come across that I didn't know how they worked. I just bought it, and the reason being sometimes we had gaskets that needed cutting and we couldn't buy a gasket, and we were trying to subcontract them out to people to do it, and we couldn't do it for a reasonable price at all. So that's where the laser engraver came into it. So with our little K40, to cut the gaskets that we need, we usually have to cut a little sheet of gasket paper and put it into the machine, and that'll cut around the gasket for us and we're out. But in the process we have to have someone to cut the paper the right size, and then we have to do it one by one to sit it in the machine. So it just so happened that I was looking at a diode laser. Now, I'd never owned one before, did not know too much about them. ORTUR got onto me and said, would you like to do a trial on this, do a review on it? And I thought, well, what a way to learn, eh? So I thought, yep, we'll have a go and see how we go. Now, there's a lot of specs and things like that we can probably cover here, and I probably will try and bring a few of them up, but the thing they're all excited about is doing pictures at 20,000 millimetres a minute. So that's a long way, that's pretty fast. So I thought, oh well, tractor channel, let's have a crack. So there's a bit of footage, and you can see that little fella there. That was just a picture that I found on the internet of a workshop or an operator's book, and I thought, well, I'll just pick that up and put it in to the software and away we go. And the other learning experience with this ORTUR Master 3 is that there's a phone app, you can hook it up to your Wi-Fi, but I can't do that up the back here. My house and where the Wi-Fi is about 230 metres forward of where we are up on the road. The only Wi-Fi I can run is off my phone up here, so it's not really practical. And I thought, even though ORTUR would like to show some of the function in that, for me it's not something I'm going to use. So I thought, well, there must be other people like myself in the world that buy something, you hook it up via a cord to your laptop, and away you go. Now, this laser, there's 5 ways it can be hooked up, and you can put a little SD card in it. It must have an SD card to run anyway. You can have it's got a little Wi-Fi aerial over here, and you can hook this fella in, or it can set up its own network and you can go from there. But look, we probably won't hop into that so much, mainly because where we are here, that's not how we're going to use it. Now, as a review of a product, the only thing I can put it up against is what I know, the K40, which isn't ideal, but let's have a look. Let's go have a look at some of the footage I've taken, and we'll talk about some of the bits and pieces that we've done. So I'll bring the camera up, I'll lay out a couple of these little test pieces, and we'll have a little bit of a chat about them. Well, before we get too far involved, we should actually give you a walk around and show you what it looks like. Now, with the laser, you get a little toolbox, this little fella here, and it has a key and a few Allen keys and things like that that you're probably likely to use. The key pops in here, and it's just a safety thing. You can put the key in, you can turn it off, you can turn it on. You can actually leave it on and take the key out, which is what I do. I don't think I'm going to have anyone up here playing with it. But now it's started, you'll see the laser decides to go home on its own. So I'll turn it off again. We'll bring him back up here. We'll bring this nice and slow across a little bit, and we'll go from there. Now, a couple of things we should follow, or should look at, is on the laser, to focus the laser, your laser beam comes out wide and it has a focal point. And on this, there's a little D, or a little dovetail sitting here, and a dovetail on the back. So you can actually see, well, anyone in the machining game will know how all that works. And they have a little focusing lever here. So the idea is that when you put a piece of timber or something in the laser, you pop the little leg down and bring it down to focus until that touches, and then you know it's right. You know you're at the optimum point for the laser. Now, being a 10 watt laser, the point isn't exactly square, it's slightly rectangle, but look, you're flat out measuring it, it works. You know, I can't actually get a measure on it with a vernier or anything, but we also have air assist in here. I run a line I made from the air compressor. I've got a big compressor here, that just pops in there. It comes with a little needle valve on the other side. This plug just pops in, so you can take the unit out and clean the lens, which you will need to do from time to time. Once you hit the key, we have a stop button. Now the safety start, or the emergency stop, will just freeze everything for you. When you need to turn it off, you just bring him up there. That should bring the laser into active, and once it has a bit of a think about where it is, it'll probably want to go to the home position. So I'll turn him up. There's different colours around this ring here, and that tells you what you have. So we'll just start him up there. You'll see it beeping. It will go, and now it's going home. It says, I've had enough of this, I'm out of here. So home position on this diode laser is the front left hand corner. Now on the CO2 it was up to, well, yes, the front left hand. It was the rear left hand on that. Now with the laser here, there's a couple of things we'll talk about that aren't the greatest, I suppose, but I have done some test cuts here. Now there's a YouTube channel called Louisiana Hobby Guy, and he put a little test cut out here for a 5 watt diode laser, and so I had a fiddle, and that there at 200 millimeters per minute, and there's a little bit of footage of that. At 200 millimeters a minute, 100% is full power, absolute full power, it did a rendering for us, and you can see that down to 50%, it still pushed out this this little square, but I actually had to push it out. Like the others cut out and fell out themselves. This one here I actually had to push out. So that was just an interesting thing to happen, I suppose. Now this one here, I set the maximum output of the laser at 75%, and we still left it at 200 millimeters a minute, and I've just backed the power off, and at 75%, at 75% of full power, yeah, it's still cut through, but it's sort of, I know it is a better etching of the words and things like that. So that was a pretty good thing, good test. It's a very clean cut. So this is 3mm MDF. So look, it's all over that all day. Now they do, as I said earlier, they do say about 20,000 millimeters a second. This here was done with that. Now I'm new to Lightburn as well. The old laser I used Inkscape and K40 separate software. On this I'm just learning to use Lightburn as I go. So I may have the pictures ballsed up a little bit here. I think this one was 20,000 millimeters a minute. This one was 15,000. So look, they're still pretty fair images when you look at them, but I reckon I can fine tune all that yet. I think I can get it better. That's more operator error than anything else, I suppose. Now I've also got a little bit of footage of doing a key tag, and that's a little key tag. I just made a little Bundy Bears Shed logo there for it. And okay, so we're starting off with a little dog tag here. So it's right, it'll end up over around in here somewhere. So we'll just go through the exercise. And all we're doing now is framing it, and if we move that out of the shadow, you can just see a frame where we would stick a tag. So what we do with that is we grab a tag. Now we've framed it. Then look, you could do 100 of these at once if you chose to. I've got the air on, as you can hear. So we'll pop that on. Now what are we going to write on that? On the footage here you can see I just do a little bit of a run around just to put a border around where the keyring stands, and once we've got that border done, you can see we put the keyring in and away we go. And look, it takes no time at all, and yeah, we have a nice tag, and there it is, just beautiful. You got to be happy with that. And you can actually feel that, like it's quite deep. So it passed that test with flying colours. That's just a good thing to do. Now, while I was playing with it, I've got an old board off a pallet. Now this is an 8mm board, and it's just an old pallet. I think it's pine of some sort, looks to be pine of some sort. So I thought, right, I'll up I'll up it with the laser and get some brownies at the same time. So I made Judy a spatula. So you can see the burnt edge. I've done a bit of sanding to tidy it up, but the laser does leave sharp edges. But that there, we run it at about 50 millimeters. Well, it was on an old setting. When I first started Lightburn, I was stealing the settings from millimeters a second, but Lightburn and the diode lasers go millimeters a minute. But look, it cut that out, no worries at all. And I even burnt in a little Bundy Bears Shed logo on there. There you go, made in Bundy Bears Shed. And I'm going to put a bit of oil on that for Jude, just to, oh no, I just wanted to cut something, so I thought I might as well cut something useful. So I actually have a bit of spotted gum now. Spotted gum's an Australian wood, and on the, you can see where I've burnt a couple of logos in there. That's a really nice bit of hardwood, and I thought I'd try and burn through. It's 3/4, around 18 millimeters, but with the laser on full smoke with air assist and running around, I couldn't quite make it through. It just seemed to get so far and not go any further. So, but as for burning something onto a chopping board, and this is the stuff I made a couple of chopping boards, and this is an offcut. So putting marks or engraving them of some sort, this little laser, look, it did a beautiful job. It's far neater than the other one I'm used to, and neater and quicker. You don't have the burnt edges. Now, a little piece of pine I played with. So this is a piece of pine. Now, you can barely see that there. That was 100% at 100 millimeters a second. So that's 4 inches. So you can barely see the mark. So this next one, 50 millimeters a second at 100%. This lighter one over here was 50 millimeters a second at 50%. And this fella here was 50 at 100% with air assist. Now, I also thought I'd try and blow a hole through it, and in the articles and that with it, it said you can cut through 3/4 pine. Well, look, I couldn't. I don't know why I couldn't. Probably something to do with settings, but you can see the marks I put there. I went a little bit over 1/2 inch through this piece of pine. Now this could be, it just says standard pine, 89 by 19 by 1.2, so it's 19 millimeters thick. I couldn't get it to burn right through. I've put a pencil line right there, and yeah, look, I couldn't get it to do it. Not that something I would do normally anyway, it was just, they said it would do it, so I thought I'd give it a try and just go from there. Now we'll go to a few screen grabs now, and there is a couple of items that I think would be very handy with this item. Now, if you want to work on tumblers and things like that, glasses, you know, Scotch glasses, and put someone's name and that on it, you can get the attachment, and look, it just plugs in here, and instead of bugging around with the board changing settings, you can just flick that switch across and you're in. I've got a honeycomb bed in here, and to put something like that in, you have to have longer legs, and you know, you need to pick this up to give it clearance. So if you're doing a box or something like that, you know, you would have to space this up. And look, you can space it up with wood or, you know, whatever you choose to give you some clearance. I've already got pieces of board in here. You can just see those bits there. They're a bit of 3/4, just to bring it up high enough so I had a little bit of room above my honeycomb bed that I put in. So the legs don't come as standard, you have to buy them extra. Whether you did that or you just propped it up on a couple of pieces of wood, that's up to you. It won't matter, it won't change the working of the thing. The thing that I really like about this, apart from the cleaner cut that I'm used to having, I'll just turn that off. apart from the cleaner cut that I'm used to having, is if you have a look on here, there's a picture of an extension you can buy. Now, the standard cutting area on this is 400 by 400, and with the cutting area being 400 by 400, the idea of me buying one of these would be to cut the gaskets, and all this other stuff is just a bit of fun, a bit of a hobby on the side, just a toy. But the serious side of this machine is that we can cut gaskets with it for our business. So a roll of gasket paper is 520 millimeters wide, and rather than pay someone to cut it, if I buy the extension legs to this and take it out to the 850 millimeters you can see here, that means I don't have to employ someone to cut the gasket into squares. I can just set up a roll, drag it through 400 at a time, and nest the gaskets. So it will save us a lot of time. This cuts the old laser used to do it at 32 millimeters a minute. No, 32 millimeters a second. This one can do it way faster at 1400. So we're going to upgrade this. We're actually going to keep this. I think it's a great machine, but I'm actually going to spend the time and money and put the extension kit in and take it to 850 wide. So having a work base of 850 here by 400, well, that opens the thing up for doing bigger signs, bigger boards, chopping boards, anything like that you can. But in my instance, I can put a roll of tape through, of gasket paper through, or a roll of vinyl. You can put a bit of vinyl there and just cut the edge out quickly, and make yourself some vinyl stickers and things like that. So I will be doing that. Whether I buy the legs or not, I don't think I probably will. But yeah, look, that's a bit of a look over it anyway. So we'll go up the front and yeah, we'll have another bit of a chat. So look, there you go. That's a quick look at this ORTUR Laser Master 3. They've had older ones, but it's just a nice looking machine. Like on my old 3D printer, it's just these ugly old beams that get full of dirt and that. This is a pretty smick looking machine to me. I think they've done well in the looks department. But for me, in my business, that extension, like I said, is a good thing. It cuts cleaner, quicker than anything I've owned before, with the 10 watt diode laser. Look, I don't understand it fully, and I'm probably not the best bloke to give you advice on what it can do, how you can make money doing coasters or anything like that with this machine. But look, I could whack out a few things, no worries. The Lightburn software, it comes with its own gerbil software and the phone app, but I can't comment on that so much because I don't want to use that. I want to use Lightburn, which is like an industry standard for hobbyists and things like that. So I want to, I've subscribed to that, I've got the program, we're going to learn with that. But as far as the machine goes, I reckon it's a cracker. Look, it suits me, I think it will be a good thing. The other thing, with it being like this and not like in a box with my other one, if you've gone and made a beautiful big table, a big resin table or something like that with the resin flowing through the centre, you can pick this machine up, pop it over the corner there and actually cut your trademark or your name into something way bigger. So yeah, it wouldn't matter if this was a 10 by 10 foot table, 3 metre by 3 metre table. You can pop this on, set the focus, put your favourite little brand on there and away you go. And so it's not just for little stuff so much. We are going to, with this, we haven't built a proper table yet. We got it and then ORTUR we had a certain time to get this done, and I've been struggling with that, just trying to get it organised and work out what it can do and all that sort of thing. But look, for me it's a good thing. I'm going to keep it, I'm going to do the extension to it, and look, I might even, on the stews I'll give you a look at that. So there you go, that's it. We'll run a heap of specs here now, a few slides at the end with some specs, all a gobbledygook. I don't understand a lot, you might. I'm not a bloke that does these things regularly. I probably won't do any more. I was only interested in this one machine because of, I could see its potential for what I was looking at. So the other machine I was going to buy was 1.5 metres square, and it was going to be a few bob. This is quite a bit cheaper, so there you go. Thanks for dropping by. We'll catch you next time, and yeah, stay tuned, see what sort of mischief we can get up to with this thing, eh?